Persona 3 Reload is out now, and I've been playing it. I'm really enjoying it. And something that's been coming across the last couple of days has been in terms of the quote-unquote DLC that's coming towards it. Now, rumors are saying that the DLC still will be containing the answer, and that's the one thing I wanted to focus on in today's video. It seems Atlus is still being weird about post-release content in general, so let's dive into all this. It all started by a rumor on Twitter saying that Persona 3 Reload will receive DLC containing the answer in the future. Please wait for more information at a later date. Multiple DLC releases is planned and will release within the fiscal year. The current DLC plan of Persona 3 Reload is modeled after DLC in Sega titles such as The Lost Judgment. The DLC in question is copying the business model, but not the contents of Lost Judgment's DLC. This is an initiative from Sega to extend the longevity of their games. And there won't be no FMC in any of the DLC, it just includes cosmetic, music, along with the DLC. So, I mean, from the jump, Persona 3 Reload was always being weird in terms of when it was first revealed, with Atlus stating they were just planning to just re-rank Persona 3, not FES, not Protocol, whatever, just Persona 3 base. At that point in time, I personally just accepted it as is. I'm like, I guess they just don't want to do that type of thing, and end of story. But now with the rumors of the answer coming in, and just in general, it just seems like Atlus is just still being weird. I mean, in the past, it made more sense for them to do, say for example, Persona 3 FES, where in the PS3 era, in the PlayStation 2 era, post-release content wasn't really a thing in the PS2 era. It made sense back in the day during the PS2 era for something like Persona 3 FES, where DLC was just not something of a thing back then. Of having these type of re-releases, and although most people forgave Atlus or let them go, I guess, give them a pass for Persona 5 Royal, even though Royal could easily just been DLC. As time gone on, it just made less and less sense for them to do the re-release structure. So I understand why it's a nice thing, you know, one step forward for them to do a DLC instead of, you know, what the internet's been dubbing as Fez load. Makes a lot of sense, but I'm still not understanding why they're going through this route. It makes sense if it's something brand new, like for example Royal, where even though at the time probably when they were developing Persona 5, Royal was probably thought up of. I mean, with the latest leaks of the source code, it seems like at one point Kasumi was going to be the female protagonist, but you know, things shifted, ideas shifted, time went on and all that stuff. But it's just the fact that this is old content that they were at one point almost refusing not to put in, and now at the last second kind of being like, oh, we are putting it in, by the way, psych, and then here, go buy this DLC, this expansion pass to get it. And it's like, what's the point of this nickel and diming? I don't understand. Like, it doesn't really bode well for Sega / Atlus. I mean, we just recently saw with the news with Blackjack and Infinite Wealth paywalling New Game Plus, which, what the hell is that? So in general, I'm just very puzzled by Atlus's decisions with this. Having DLC is nice. I think the on paper, having them rather, instead of just re-releasing Reload with the answer and calling it Fez load, and them doing a DLC is a good route. I just don't think it's a good idea. I mean, in all honesty, why isn't the answer just built in from the beginning with Reload? Why is it that we have to wait for DLC for it to come out? I mean, even if it was like, oh, we ran out of time, or we didn't think people would like it, or because a lot of fans don't really like the answer, so maybe there's that sense of thing. But still, there's that sense of like they're being weird about that. It's just the messaging overall, in my opinion, with all this, because we recently got one of the producers came out, according to Persona Central, the Persona team's production manager, Kazuhisa Wada, in an interview talking about how currently we are not considering a revision like with Persona 5 to Persona 5 Royal, which involves significant changes and additions to the original title. So fans can rest assured knowing that Persona 3 Reload offers a complete experience.
They got your ass on camera.
Niggas ain't got me on no fucking camera.
This is the clearest video I've ever seen. This is the most HD shit ever. This is 4K. How did they get you at 4K?
That ain't me.
My whole problem with all this is the fact that this isn't new content. If this was brand new content to Persona 3, if this was something completely different, I would be okay with them being like, this is DLC, you buy the expansion pass, you get this new content. But the fact that this is old content that they almost refuse to not put in, I know I'm putting words in their mouth by saying refuse, but them specifically saying when this game was revealed that they were remaking Persona 3, them outright like kind of saying and re-releasing Persona 3 Portable, it's like, okay, are we forgetting about the answer? What's going on here? Is this not supposed to be the definitive Persona 3 experience? That's not even to talk about why isn't FemC in the game. Like, that's the thing. It's like this whole back and forth, the messaging. Atlus is just being weird. I'm really enjoying Persona 3 Reload. I think this is even taking out all the stuff without the answer, without FemC, all that stuff. This is still the definitive version of Persona 3, and this is the way to play Persona 3 if you haven't before. I just don't like this precedent of, oh, we remade a game, we're not gonna have any of the content that was in the quote-unquote re-releases of the game. In the past, it made sense, again, like I said, during the PS2 era. If you're doing something like on the Vita, like they were Persona 4 Golden, where they made new content for that version, or something like Catherine Full Body, which was a re-release with new content, stuff like that, where those situations, it made sense for them to do that type of thing, but those were re-releases with new content. This is just, oh, let's just extend the life of the game for just longevity purposes. I don't know, nickel and diming us, I don't know. This is a bad precedent, because imagine down the line, let's say hypothetically speaking, so Atlus decides, okay, we're gonna re-release or remake Persona 1 and 2, and Persona 2 has two different versions: Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. I might be wrong with the titles. I have them on screen right now. And imagine if they're just like, oh, we're just doing Innocent Sin. We're not gonna touch Eternal Punishment. Don't worry about that. We're only gonna do Innocent Sin, and that's about it. And then like 6 months later, they come back with like, hey, guess what? New expansion pass for Persona 2 comes with Eternal Punishment. It's like, well, what's with this? Like, why are you doing this? Like, other than nickel and timing, it's like, it boggles my mind. I'm scratching my head at like these decisions that Atlus is doing. It's like, Atlus, you're doing good. You're doing good at not deciding to do a re-release. You're still a little, like, this is the thing, it's like 1 step forward, 5 steps back. You can talk about how there's no Switch version at the moment, but my theory is it's gonna come on the next Switch, since that's 100% gonna come out this year. But anyway, that's really what I have for this. I mean, aside from that, in terms of updates of it, it's been data mined that this is a thing. Like, it's in the game itself already. People have already been data mining it, so this DLC is basically gonna come. I'm only disappointed again in the fact that it's old content being repurposed as DLC. Like, that's the main thing that's really pissing me off. That it's like, why are you doing this? Like, why couldn't you just put this in day one? Like, it really shows how it was gonna be in the game, but they cut it out just for DLC, because again, it's old content. It already exists. There's literally no reason for them not to put it. But yeah, that's really about it for this. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts on this. Do you think I'm right? What's going on? What do you think? I would love to hear what you have to say. That being said, this has been Moe signing out.